The thing is, when you change your windows or you make insulation, and it takes you 10, 20 years
to recoup the...
just to,
I know.
just
it's
to break
crazy.
even.
It's
just
crazy.
to break even.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a lot of owners, real estate owners, who say, no,
it's not worth it.
I take care of my home, but I won't make any work, this kind of work in the building in Houndstick that I'm managing, for example, for instance, because I won't make it.
It's not worth it.
Have you been thinking about buying your first rental property for some time, or do you already own a bunch of properties? Well, fellow investors, you found the right location to listen and learn from others' successes. Welcome to The Very Real Estate Effect with your host, Axel Mont-Saint-Jean.
Hello, and welcome back to the Very Real Estate Effect podcast, a show dedicated to real estate investing right here in Quebec. This is part 2. Listen to last week's episode on energy efficiency in Europe with my wonderful guest, Mickael Micmacher, who's an expert in ecological building and energy efficiency, on top, of course, of being a real estate investor, and that's also why he's here. So thank you, Mickael, for joining us again.
Thank you, Axel, for the invitation. Very pleased to be here.
So last week we talked about energy efficiency in Europe and how now there's a new law that mandates that whenever there's a transaction, there's a diagnostic of energy performance that is done for a property being traded, a condo, a house, a building, you get it. Now, in this part this week, we wanted to talk about energy efficiency here in Quebec because in some ways we're late. And I was going to say late compared to Europe. And whatever happens over there usually comes here within 5 to 10 years. And so you being an expert, I really want to hear, what is your take on Quebec's state and position? And most importantly, and this is for listeners, I want you to be able to walk away with a few actionable items that you can do for your rental properties. So I know there's a lot on the table here. Let's start at the very beginning with, so your expertise coming from Europe. You arrived in 2017?
Yes.
And then when you arrived, what were your major surprises?
Well, I was hired by an engineer company in the South Shore of Montreal, and they wanted to develop a new department about the ecological building. And I had the idea to create a bridge between Canada and Europe called Batinovex for building innovation experts.
Okay.
And the idea, I said, is, okay, we've got expertise in Europe because we've got places such as Switzerland, North Germany, the Alps in France, where it's very cold and for many months, So we have expertise also in Europe. We've got expertise here in Canada, of course. So the idea for me was to create a bridge of expertise and make a cross-fertilization, saying, okay, we're going to be better and we're going to improve what is existing. And so my first job was to explore the expertises here that are offered and proposed to people, and how do they work here in Quebec, and what do they use, and try to figure out what we can do. What missed here was the ecological products. Okay. I didn't find a lot of products in insulation with hemp or with wood fibers or things like that. So
it's all synthetic.
Yeah, a lot of synthetic, petroleum-based products and things like that. Okay, that's the point. There is one guy in Rimouski who is doing that.
But one guy.
Yeah, one guy is quite difficult. And he wanted to do it here in Quebec, so he has to import products from Russia first. And then he said, no, it's not working, so I'm going to find people who are going to use hemp and put hemp in their fields. But then they didn't have the good... Anyway, big story, make it short, so quite difficult. Yeah. Okay, and then I thought, okay, perhaps it's about the conception. It's interesting, and about the software they're using and the expertise they have in building and things like that. So at the end, I wanted to present products from Germany, Switzerland, France, and here, and I had only 2 architects who said I'm interested in.
Okay. Wow, very little.
One in Victoriaville, one in Montreal. I made a 9-month tour. So I met a lot of people in 9 months. 2 companies, building companies, who were interested in fiber wood products for insulation, and they are making pre-industrial walls, so in their hangar, in their
Okay, so it's prefabricated.
yeah, prefabricated, and that's it. So the volume was not here
No.
to really make importation. So I wanted to create. I called Val des Sources. So I went to Val des Sources.
Oh, which was the city of that used to be called Asbestos?
Used to be called Asbestos.
Yeah.
And they're looking for changing the position of a product that has a very bad publicity, bad image.
Yeah.
So they wanted to go in ecological products in construction, and they say we are the good place. So we are the right place to do that.
Yeah.
So I made a tour in 9 months.
Yeah.
So I went also to Asbestos, known as Val des Sources now.
Yeah.
We want to make a reorientation in ecological building products.
Yeah.
But it didn't work at all. I also met the one of the vice presidents of Transition Énergétique Québec.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so then you went on the governmental agency side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what he told me, it was in 2018. He told me, building for us, we've got a budget for the year. We've got 6 or 7 items, 6 or 7 priority, and building is the last one.
Okay. And that's the government agency in charge of energy transition, you said?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so...
It was in 2018,
Okay, so very low in the priorities.
Yeah, the last one. First, it's mining. Then the first one is mining. Then is electricity or electrification, including electrification. Then they've got
other types of industry.
transports.
Yeah.
Then they've got wastes, I suppose so, water, and I think building should be 6 or 7.
Okay.
I don't remember, it was 6 years ago, but it was that.
So I just want to summarize. For the government agency in terms of energy efficiency, construction as an industry was the 6th or 7th priority at the time.
The last one.
The last.
Let's say the last
Okay,
one.
so first they focused on all the other aspects that you mentioned. Okay,
Yeah.
Wow.
Because what I said is all the products are existing in North America, in Europe, wherever you want to. All the softwares are existing. The skills are existing. So what is going on? What is it not working here? And the thing is, the people who are conceiving and the people, architect engineers, and the people who are building, they are not aware of it.
Yeah.
They are maintaining their own way.
There's no incentive.
Their own way of thinking, their own way of building for the last 20 years. Look at my buildings, they are still here. Yeah, they are here, but what do they consume? What kind of materials do you use to build them?
Yeah.
And when I speak as a real estate investors, I got the chance to make new construction and renovation.
Yeah.
And the new construction, when I said, okay, I want to make a new kind of insulation, so you have to move the electric wire of half a inch or 1 inch on the left, on the right, whatever. The guy looked at me saying, no.
I don't care.
Why?
Yeah.
No, the book told me it's here.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we add something so you maintain the book specifications? No.
Okay, so
what do you mean, no?
Okay, so then there's a jump to do with building code, but going back to what you said in terms of the incentive, is it fair to say that here it's not a priority because energy is just too cheap? And I hate to bring it down to this, but why in Europe are they more stringent? Because energy is very expensive. There's less of it. Supply is tight, so therefore it's more expensive. Therefore, there's a lot of incentive to make sure that it's efficient everywhere.
They have to import energy.
Yeah.
Except Norway, who has its own oil fields,
Yeah.
and England next to Scotland.
Yeah.
They have to import energy, gas from Russia and petrol, oil from Mediterranean countries and so on, Arabic countries. They have to import energy.
Yeah.
Okay, they are not self-sufficient. Here in Quebec and in Canada, in Quebec we have the endless resources. How to say that?
Renewable energy.
Yeah, but it's a syndrome of endless resources.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that.
So it's wood. We've got plenty of it. Okay. Did you see the movie that made with a little plane behind the highways when everything is just cut and it's white? There are no more trees over there.
No.
But they don't speak about it on the TV or in the news. I mean, we think that here that it's endless. We are only 8 million people on 1.5 million square meters. It's a huge country. Just Quebec, it's huge. Canada is second largest country in the world. So, I mean, it's endless resources. We've got diamond, we've got gold, we've got oil, we've got everything here to be
so
happy.
much.
But very little people, amount of people. So it's the syndrome of endless resources. So they think, no, it's easy here. And moreover, you've got Hydro-Quebec.
Yeah.
So
the structure of the industry is also not conducive to any sort of innovation.
Which is wonderful, Hydro-Quebec. The point is not the fact that it's not a good thing. Hydro-Quebec, it's the concept of it. 99% of the electric production made from water. It's incredible.
It's beautiful.
It's wonderful. Nothing to change about that, okay? The thing is, it costs not the right price because Quebecans say, okay, we save money to build Hydro-Quebec. So this is the return on investment. I understand that. But the thing is, it's not at the right cost.
So energy is too cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know that even if Hydro-Quebec is making money nowadays, they are not able to answer to the increase of the consumption of demand.
Yeah.
So they have a question now is, they started 5-10 years ago saying, okay, do we have to build a new infrastructure in order to answer in the next 15-20 years when it's going to be ready to answer the increase of consumption? Because we have an increase of population, but it's not only that. We also have more and more products, electronics products, items, and things like that at home. So we've got big houses and so on. So we've got an increase also of consumption of the same people, right? People are living longer. Yeah. So they're using more and more energy and so on. So, and they've got this problem. But if we think of energy savings, we've got 4 million or so of buildings here. If we think of economy savings in energy, we could save probably in a faster way in the next 5-10 years. We could save half of the production dedicated to the buildings, and we can reuse this production of electricity. The same amount at the source will be the same amount of energy, but we can reuse it for something else. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Or to fulfill what are the needs, what the needs are, sorry.
And so just going back to what you said, like in terms of demand is increasing a lot for a lot of the aspects that you mentioned. And let's not forget that increasing supply, producing more, it takes anywhere, I was going to say, between 5 to 15 years to build a new dam or to build a series of dam. And so on the supply side, it's very difficult to actually increase capacity because there is such a time delay between getting the idea and saying, oh, we need to increase, and actually having one or more dams coming online and start to produce.
And the prices of the dams now.
Yeah. So
in the 60s, the prices of the workforce and the way of saying to people, goodbye, I'm taking your land. Yeah. You see what I mean?
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not the same today. So the laws are different, and I do respect that. That's not the point.
Yeah, that's just
the thing is the price. The price is going to be much bigger than before. Yeah. So our Quebecans are ready to pay a higher price for new installation, new infrastructure. It's a real...
Yeah, it's a real question. And people already complain and say, energy has got too expensive. We're selling so much energy to the U.S. that now, it's becoming more expensive for us, which I think is not true, and it's a false argument because I think we still sell more expensive in the U.S. than we do here. Yes. And so the Americans, in a way, subsidize our consumption. It could be presented. But then, how do we push people to be more energy efficient? Because that's what it comes down to. And in this case, we're talking about real estate. We're talking about people in their primary residence or in rental properties. As you said, there's probably like 20 or 30% saving that could be done just within a couple of years.
especially when you see at the renovation. I've got a chance of managing several buildings with partners, and when we are opening the walls, the gyps, we're taking out the gyps from buildings of the 40s, 50s, 60s. We can find hair horses
Yeah.
as insulation.
Yeah. It works well, right?
Yeah. So, and we find also a lot of waste on the side that they put in the walls.
Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of garbage, basically. Yeah.
with even
Newspapers.
and
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like
that's a
that.
classic.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
You see, so you've got a structure which is in wood, which has no inertia, and we can put bricks in front of it, but it's not the right place to put the inertia. So and a very poor insulation. So we have to save that, right? We have to improve the way of making insulation. So we've got different markets here. We've got the new construction, so we can work on that. We've got renovation of houses, renovation of buildings, condos buildings, and renovation of cabins and things like that. So we've got different markets.
Yeah.
With some solutions can be used in all the four of them, especially the insulation by the exterior part of the building.
Yes.
And this is really, really important. And this has to be taken into account here in Quebec. Why?
Okay, wait, let's just dive on this a
Yeah.
little bit. So let's say for someone who's got a 1950s sixplex in Onsic, okay, average property, and then they open the wall or they need to redo the brick and they realize that there's actually no or very little insulation between the wood structure and the brick, then what would you suggest?
I would suggest not to open the walls. Because the thing is...
Inside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to open the walls. If they open the walls, they will see the quality also of electricity. So they have to change the electricity to be with the good level of
Code.
Probably they have to change the plumbing. Probably they have to move all the furniture, the kitchen, everything. They have to ask the family to get out of the apartment for several months. So they're going to lose money about the because they're going to pay people to go in another place and so on. So it will cost a lot of money, right? The thing is probably also with the new code system, they probably lose some space inside, okay? Because if they have to make a better insulation, they have to increase the dimension, the width of the wall.
Yeah.
So they have to increase it to put the right amount of insulation inside the walls, right? So they will reduce the size of the rooms, of the space to live, right?
Yeah.
So those are all the consequences. But people are used to work this way. What I suggest would be to make an insulation from outside. And to work with people who are, and we have to industrialize the system, the thinking of it. So we're making a lot of saving this way. So we're going to a pre-industrialized atelier, the place they are...
Workshop.
With the workshop, thank you. So we're preparing the insulation system module.
The panels.
Fiber wood, if possible. That's better. Fiber wood. So panels with fiber woods.
Okay. Oh, so it's like a sheet of insulation with a sheet of plywood?
No, fiber woods. It's insulation, a rigid insulation that is used for external insulation. I've made a lot in Europe. I can talk about that too because I was even invited by the Prime Minister of France to go in Israel to speak about insulation and to speak about innovation we are doing in France. I also went to Algeria. I went to the Ile de la Réunion.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of different mission about that too. So I can really speak about it. So here, what we could do, the more effective way and the more efficient too, is to have this kind of panel we preparing in workshop with fiber wood, with high density fiber wood, okay? So we fix that effectively directly on the brick, and we finish that with either panels or bricks or whatever you want to. Even you can put like a special painting on that, so very specific. But with this kind of thing, you prepare that in the workshop. So you come with the truck, and you put that directly outside.
Okay, and
Outside.
does that replace the brick?
No.
No.
Directly on the brick.
Yeah.
So you've got the
directly on
inertia
brick.
on the brick. So you've got inertia inside.
Yeah.
That helps with, you've got factors such as effusivity, diffusivity. You have to take in account the factor of migration of steam, which is the point rosé.
Yeah.
You have to take in account the density too. A lot of different factors to improve the quality of living. But by this way, you don't you don't have all the problems I spoke about when you make renovation from inside, because you don't touch nothing. The family remains, still pay his rents every month, and everything is working well, right? So in that case, it's coming from outside, and that's it. So you can maintain the windows at the same place, or you can change the windows and put them directly where the new panel is, right?
Yeah.
Because
Totally
otherwise
pushed out.
you're going to lose a bit of the light.
Yeah.
This is the reality.
Yeah.
And this could be like a 15 centimeter of width.
Of gap, of a thickness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea is to ask to the municipality if they do agree to lose a part, 15 centimeters of the sidewalk.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for bringing up the city,
It's
because
at 7 inches more or less,
Yeah.
7-8 inches.
the minute we say, oh, let's insulate from the outside, I'm thinking of our example of the Sixplex in Onsic. In most of Montreal, the city requires that it's brick outside, so we can't put anything else. So then this would need to be between the brick and the wood structure. So you need to take the brick down, insulate, like kind of they do now, and then put the brick back. So
Or you can fix. We used to fix on buildings who have panels in concrete.
okay, yeah,
So it works
on concrete.
directly on concrete. So you could. The thing is how the bricks are fixed to the wooden structure. If they are decorative, they are not strong enough. So you have to take them down.
Yeah,
But I don't know if you've got old building like here in Griffintown, you've got stone, so you can put that directly on the stone, right?
yeah,
And then there are panels that are imitating the stone
okay,
very well. So when you are driving or you are riding your bike, as
Yeah.
I'm doing,
oh,
you don't see the difference.
no.
You have to walk by, look at it, say, "Oh my God!"
Or even go scratch to see that
This
it's
is not
actually
stone.
Yeah,
So you keep the urbanistic way,
Yeah.
the point of view,
The aesthetics.
the aesthetics and everything, which is very important
yeah,
too, and it works very well.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be a way that is the cheapest way, the more efficient way, and it works. We have a lot of solutions that are existing.
yeah,
But the thing also is people are a lot working in silo
yeah,
like that. So the guy from electricity is doing his job. He's doing well his job, but he's doing a job. Come on Monday, leave on Tuesday. Thank you, bye. Plumber is coming after that, making new holes and
Yeah.
new things, leaving on Thursday, and then you come back and say, "Oh my God, I have to do it again."
yeah. Because there's so many holes. I think it was you and I. Like we had a conversation a few months ago about how the fact that here electrical boxes are not sealed.
Yeah.
And it's something that in Europe is now unconceivable,
No.
just through the holes into the walls coming from switches and plugs,
You feel the air.
yeah, you feel the air. And I'm thinking of all those, those apartments and plexes on the plateau and other parts of Montreal, not just picking on the plateau, but you know what I mean, where it's just a strainer. It's une passoire.
Right. But not only in Montreal.
Yeah, I know, all over.
Yeah, it's true. Now we've got a big challenge on that.
Yeah.
So
And-
it helps when you insulate from outside. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
You can also insulate from outside for the roof. There are a lot of solutions that are existing already.
And there's a lot of solutions when the problem arises and people take it seriously. And I hate to go back to this, but I feel my background is in economics, and I feel that I love it because it explains to me a lot of how the world works. And sadly, people are never as incentivized as when you hit their wallet.
Yeah.
And until we say, you know what, the price of energy is going to go up, you need to be more efficient, there's all sorts of excuses, and it always justifies the short-term vision of, it's okay, I'll just pay a little bit more every year, but I don't want to do the insulation work for the next 20 or 30 years. And until prices go up, what's really going to be the driver for people to be more efficient? I don't know what it is. I don't know. That's why, I don't want to go to Hydro-Quebec and say, raise your prices, it'll be better for everyone, because in a way it's kind of counterintuitive, but it's not really working right now. Or not enough.
But the thing is also the health of the people who are living inside.
Yeah,
The
that's a factor that's not talked enough about.
Nobody speak about it.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
To be honest.
Yeah.
And we don't speak about the problem with the lungs, the respiration, the breathing illness and things like that due to the products that are in the walls.
Yeah.
And nobody speak about it. They just say, this is coming from pollution outside of the home.
Yeah.
But we are... Think about it.
Yeah.
You are at home in the morning, you go to work or you work from home.
Yeah.
You remain 8 hours, 10 hours, either in your home or at the office.
Yeah.
You come back 20 minutes,
outside,
45 minutes.
Yeah.
This is an average.
Yeah.
Except if you're living in Saint-Jérôme and you're coming to Montreal, 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Just joking.
No, it's okay.
But the thing is, usually in the hour you're back home and you remain again at home.
At home, and then you go to bed and you sleep and you breathe
so
the same
on
air.
24 hours, you are 20 hours
Indoors.
indoors.
Yeah.
So don't say it's only pollution from outside. It's pollution from inside also.
Yeah.
So the thing is, what kind of materials are you using? Do you use ecological material or regular chemical materials? So workers who are using them all day long, it's not good for them. And people who are living them for 5, 10, 20 years, not good either.
No.
So health, you've got health issue for you, for yourself, for your children. And nobody talks about it, but it's a reality. Yes, there's also the money. I agree with that. But if you think of the government, all the helps, all the money is giving to oil companies and could take a part of it, who have a special 0.5 tax on oil companies just to pay the re-insulation over all the buildings, and that helps you people. And then you've got the TAL here in Quebec and the system of calculating the rents. I know it's a huge problem. Look at you.
I know. I need to go to the TAL pretty soon. That's why.
Yeah. The thing is, when you change your windows or you make insulation, and it takes you 10, 20 years
to recoup the.
I know. Just to break even.
It's crazy.
Just to break even.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a lot of owners, real estate owners, who say, no,
it's not worth it.
I take care of my home, but I won't make any work, this kind of work in the building in Houndstick that I'm managing, for example, for instance, because I won't make it.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You do. It takes you 20 years to recoup the price of your windows. You already need to change them.
Yeah. So perhaps if we can't do nothing for the TAL, perhaps the government should say, in case you are selling the building in the next 10 years, all the expenses are deductible of your gain in capital.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Good idea, no?
Yeah.
So in that case, you can.
I guess it's already the case when you capitalize some of your expenses.
Yeah,
right?
but
you increase your cost.
But you have to make an incentive.
Yeah.
You have to make incentive. As you said, it's going through the wallet. If it's not the health, it's the wallet. So we have to find solution. Yeah, you've got capitalization, but you've got to have incentive. Say, okay, please put the money on the table. Okay, we want as government to prevent the level of rents. Okay, I can understand it's a political choice. Nothing else. It's only politics.
Yeah.
Right? We have to assume that. So the thing is, okay, how can we help the owners? We have to take that into account. So it's not only, we can put that in expenses, amortization, capitalization, yes, but can we do something as we are not able to increase the rents and it takes 10, 20 years, but if you sell it before 10 years, can we make something?
Yeah.
Perhaps are we okay as owner to say, okay, and then I'm okay to pay, because when you works with the RBQ, CCQ, and so on, you've got a guy who's coming and check that the guys have the license, okay, which is okay.
Yeah.
But you could have also the same guy who's coming and say, okay, they've got the license and the work they're doing correspond to the quotation.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a certification, you've got a document at the same time, same place, saying for the government, it's not a false invoice.
Yeah.
The work was already done.
Performed.
Yeah, it was performed, because you could have people who want to snitch and abuse the government, as always. So then in that case, you've got the proof that the invoices correspond to the reality.
Yeah.
And you've got a solution.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And there's so many, that's the thing, like, if we actually try, there are ways and incentives that we can force people or incentivize people to invest more in energy efficiency. And, we've talked about the price of energy. We've talked about renovation methods. I'm sure as you just brought up, on the financial side and on the taxation, there's also ways to do this. And I invite actually everybody who's listening to contact their MP and let them know in Quebec and in Ottawa.
I can also propose you another way.
Sure, and then we'll have to wrap up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I worked in France, and I met when I created my training company in France about ecological building and energetical efficiency. I had a contact with a bank, which name is Crédit Coopératif, and they wanted to go and follow the flow concerning these aspects.
Okay.
And they say, we've got a problem, is our bankers do not know nothing about building. So if someone is coming with, it was only for new construction. If someone is coming with plans, we say, okay, if you say it's ecological, we sign, but we don't know the difference between...
We can't assess it.
Concrete, whatever. So we propose to train them, train bankers about ecological buildings, right?
Oh, boy.
So then they say, but we're not able to create...
But that's not their business. They should just send it to you, and then you can say yes or no.
But the thing is, they say, okay, but we cannot monopolize for 3 days all the bankers in France for your training. Yeah. So I've created in 2008 the first e-learning training that I proposed to the bankers. They said yes. The idea was the following for them. Listen to the trick we work on. The idea was, okay, your expenses are $2,000 a year for electricity, energy in general in your house. If you're building this house this way, but it could work for the renovation too. If you build the house this way, this conception, this kind of material, we had 21 criteria.
Yeah.
And they have to follow the 21 criteria. We are giving you a better rate for your loan because you're following the 21 criteria. And we know that it will cost perhaps 10% more. So we give you 0 point something better rate, so it will compensate the 10% more. Okay? Second thing is when they pass from 2,000 to 500 in expenses, they've got 1,500 more extra in their pocket.
Yes.
So in that case, the deal with the bank, with the customer, is said, okay, with this 1,500 extra,
the amount of the saving,
we put that in a saving, and it's in the same contract, in the saving that helps green industry. So you're saving money as a customer. You're saving your expenses are lower.
And you're investing
1,500 in that. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So the bank is happy because they are funding something. They have new clients, a new position. So I mean, everybody can be concerned.
That's a good example. Yeah.
And it works. It works very well.
Yeah. There's a lot of different ways that could do this. This is a great example. It'd be interesting to talk about it with financial institutions here and see if there would be any drive. And I invite every single one of you to do this. Now, thank you very much for your participation. I know we could be talking about this for hours. I love this topic.
I'm passionate.
I know. We both are. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you.
And for everybody who's listening, as usual, please share this episode with a friend who could benefit from this conversation. Leave us a review, send us some comments, and we'll try to respond to everything we get. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you next week. Ciao.
Bye.